Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 10, Episode 6. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Chris, the maybe comeback with Mancy?
Mark, the Ancient Warrior Merchant.
And yes, there are some updates to the Banned Saga. This will be the Banned Saga Part 7. But first, why don't we go ahead and get right into the bowling for the week. All right, here we go. The fastest 3 minutes in bowling. Start things off on lanes 21 and 22. We have team number 9, the best team in the league, the Ball Fondlers, against team number 6, which is Housequake. And Ball Fondlers did what they do. They dominated. They won 38 out of 48. So kudos to the Ball Fondlers. I think Bryson was the one that bowled pretty good that night. I think he had a 200 game and a 190 game, which is about 60 above his average for both games. And so he was the one that led the way. So kudos to Bryson. Next pair, we have team number 4, which is Mustache Ride, against team number 8, Almost Empty Nest. And sadly to say, Mustache Ride's still on that slump. Almost Empty Nest pulled out the victory, 36 out of 48. I believe they pre-bowled before Tuesday, so they claimed the victory there. So kudos to Almost Empty Nest. If I remember right, I think it was Bob that bowled good that night. Next pair is 25 and 26. That's Team 2, Mark's team. I was going to say the Ball Fondlers, but no, it's the other balls. We got balls. Against team number 5, which is the new team, Sisters. And wouldn't you know it, Sisters come out with a victory. Mark, what happened?
Man, they were tough. And I will say, Eric showed up late, and we waited for him, which was a mistake. We probably could have finished the first game before he got there.
Is he bowled that 240 that first game?
Yeah, I think we might have opened in the first frame and then had 10 in a row or something.
Yeah, but, nuts. Y'all should have went without him.
Yeah, and and Ron didn't bowl as well as he had been.
Yeah,
and Chris Saunders had a good series too, and he credited. Yeah, and he basically said, man, his average is due to go up 10 pins since he got rid of the dead wood.
So, in all fairness, has it gone up though?
Yeah, I mean, it's on the way up. He shot like a 6, what do you have, 6 something there? And,
yeah, him and Eric both had 600.
Yeah, and he said he got rid of the dead wood, and now he's gonna go up.
I kind of want to test his theory out.
That's true. That's very true. I want to test it out.
He's already off to a good start.
All right, next pair, we've got the blind team, formerly Only Dads, against team number 7, which is Long Live Rock. Long Live Rock thankfully won. They almost struggled after that first game. I know Neil had a struggle that night, but they ended up winning 42 out of 48, so good job. Next pair is team number 10. That is Here for the Beer. That's Camilla's team. They bowled against team 11, Three Fingers Deep. Very good match and a very good night, especially Jose against Andre. Andre had a very good night, and he ended up bowling the highest series on the night against the two teams, and he won for the team 32 out of 48. So good job to Three Fingers Deep, finding the win column again, beating a good team. And then there's my team. We're on 31-32. My team, Hawk Chua Wap, against Pin High, Craig, Gino, and Tina. We squeaked out the victory, barely. It was almost a kiss your sister. We won 30 out of 48. So good job to my team. Standings-wise, Ball Fondlers, of course, still in first. They're at 220 with Hawk Chua Wap, my team, in second at 204. Here for the Beer, hanging on to third place. They're at 179. And we got Balls hanging on to fourth. So those two teams lost. But here we got Balls still in fourth and at 175. Three Fingers Deep catching up. They're in fifth. They're at 158, followed by Pin High, who dropped to 151. They're in sixth place. Long Live Rock right on their tail in seventh. They're at 147. Sisters making a big jump from the bottom all the way to eighth place at 121. Housequake at 117 in ninth. Almost Empty Nester making a little bit of a jump. They're at 114 and still at the bottom and having the toughest time. The only thing they can probably do now is play spoiler, and they are in last place with 56. They're a whole 58 points behind the next team up. So they are definitely having the toughest time out of everybody in the league.
Yeah, maybe they can play spoiler this week.
They have to. They're going to be bowling against the blind team. So, I mean, if they lose against the blind, man, is there any hope for them? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But there's your fastest 3 minutes in bowling. That may have been 3 minutes finally. But the reason why I wanted to get to this next segment, because yes, the Banned Saga continues. We're at part 7 of the Banned Saga, but with probably the biggest update out of all the updates we've provided. Chris, why don't you go ahead and fill us in? What's the big news?
The big news is, guys, as everyone's been waiting for, I'm officially banned from the bowling alley.
You're not officially banned, are you?
No.
But
No.
Get us excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Man. Where did I start? What, Thursday?
No,
Right,
start with
Thursday?
Wednesday. First, start with the meeting. Wasn't it Wednesday that you met him, or he was at the bowling alley or something?
Okay, yeah. So that was Wednesday, yeah. No,
Yeah,
Mark, when did you bowl?
Okay, it was.
When did the old people bowl?
I think it was Wednesday. It's either Monday or Wednesday, but I think it was Wednesday.
Okay, so I won't say Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday too. So Wednesday morning, Mark texted. We have a group chat, me, Mark, and Lee. I know it's a shocker that Mark knows how to work a phone and text group. So Mark texts the group saying, "Hey, Tim is here at the bowling alley and call up here." I'm like, oh, I mean, then everyone's like, "Oh, call up there, call up there." I'm like, you know what? F it. I'm calling up there. I call the alley. I speak to some girl named Diana. I'm like, may I speak, please, to Tim Dooley? He's there. And believe it or not, she said, okay, hold on. I'm like, okay. All right. Easier than I thought. Tim answers the phone. Hello, this is Tim. And I'm like, I paused for a little bit to like break in the non-belief that he finally is there. I finally got a hold of him. Here's my chance to say my side of the story. And I said, hey, Tim, my name is Chris Whitmancy. I'm a previous bowler there. I've been banned from the location for about a month now. And I gave him the whole spiel of my resume, my bowling resume. I worked there. I know Brad Hawkins. I know Rob Conte. I know Lee McDonald. I know Kim Hood. My wife and kids bowl there. I used to work for Dino Castillo. I used to work at AMF. I gave him the whole background. And I told him, hey, do you want to hang out, have lunch or dinner, and get to know me? And I can tell you my side of the story in person. And he just said, did I sign off on this? I'm like, yes, you did. He's like, well, if I signed off on it, then it's basically all said and done, and I don't want to hear anything else. That's it. I was like, but you didn't get to hear my story. He's like, yes, but my associates bring this to my attention, and they said, I'm like, then it's basically done. I'm like, even though it might be hearsay? I'm like, yeah, I mean, even so, I protect my associates. And I told him, as anyone should, as a manager should protect his associates. That's great. But in the case of this incident, I am being framed. I am not being heard, and it's wrong. Right? So I told him that. He's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, okay, I'm really sorry for wasting your time. And I hung up. That was Wednesday. And I think, yeah, the next day, I'm in the office. I told Mark and Lee what happened. And they're like, oh, man, well, well, maybe Tom Turner, and Lee emailed him, and maybe Tom Turner can help us out and get a hold of him and maybe contact you. And Lee is like, man, Lee is pushing his weight and getting anyone to call me. Mark is shockingly helping me.
Hey, why do you got to make fun of my weight?
And everyone's helping me. And I'm guessing.
Let me chime in. I had actually got a hold of Tom Turner before you met Tim Dooley, because Tom, out of the blue, had emailed me Wednesday morning before that Wednesday afternoon call that you had. And Tom asked me if I'm switching you away as president of JB Trio. I then emailed back and told him that the league has decided not to do so until we've heard officially that the ban is 100%, and that we would like to try and get in contact with Tim Dooley, which we've been unsuccessful, and to try to get a sit down so that Chris can get his side of the story heard. And so I basically told him that the league didn't want to switch you. And if Tom could do whatever he could to get a hold of Tim and to help us get in contact with him, that was basically my response. So I sent that to him that morning. Little did I know that Tim was going to visit the center that afternoon. And then little did I know that Chris had talked to him. So we had gotten a hold of Tom, and Tom, he responded, I want to say within about 10 minutes of that phone call that you had with Chris, or that you had with Tim, and had said that, yes, he will get a hold of Tim Dooley for us. He then sent an email with the attached emails from our conversation with each other. He forwarded that to Tim, and with a request that Tim get in touch with us. So it's so weird that Tim agreed to, well, it's so weird that Tom agreed to do that as we were talking with Tim Dooley.
Yeah.
So, and then after Chris hung up with Tim, what had happened after that?
So after that, in my head, I hate to say it, I was basically admitting defeat in a way. Like, hey, we literally tried speaking to the one guy that we all thought that can help me get back in the lanes.
And I remember you texted me and Mark and said that that's pretty much it. I'm done. Me and Mark were like, damn, I guess it is it, because we blatantly told you no and said that I'm not going to hear you out. I'm going to just stick with my ruling. And then, yeah, I was done. I was like, well, I guess he's not going to hear Chris's side.
Yeah,
I wonder how that makes me feel on what I want to do with the league, if I want to even continue.
I think the crying you did at the very end, that crying you did at the very end of that call might have tipped the scale a bit.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, my voice did go low, and I acted out. I literally said like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm sorry for wasting your time."
Yeah, voice crack is like, oh my God, I'm dead.
There was sadness in my voice because it was basically saying bye bowling.
I got reprimand for telling you that he was down there.
Oh, you did? What happened?
I'm only kidding.
Oh, I was about to say. I was
I was wondering. He said that when I was on my second conversation, I told him, yeah, old man Mark was down there. He saw you there. He told me to call up there.
Shit, now I'm going to get banned.
Well, you spoiled it a little bit, Chris. So what happened after that?
I'm at work, and after admit defeat, I told my wife, I'm basically...
Is this still Wednesday, or is it the next day?
It's Wednesday right now. Wednesday night, and I'm telling my wife, like, and hey, baby, bowling basically done with me. We tried everything we could, and then my wife was like persistent, like, no, fuck that shit. No, we're gonna see who else can do it. Like, she said, how about we get the employees to vouch to Tim that you're a good guy, so have him first. If he's so adamant about his employees' wording, how about we get the employees to and vouch for you and all that? I'm like, oh, that's just more headaches. It's like, who would do that? And we don't want to put more employees who isn't in the scenario or situation like in it. And I was just like, ugh. So just like, I was basically done, but my wife wanted to continue to fight. So I just slept on it. The next day, I'm in my office at work, and I get a call around like 10:30 in the morning, like no text, just a flat out call. And luckily that smartphones are existing now, and it was like a 1-800, like 1-800, like 117 number, and right above it says Tim Dooley. And I'm like, is this a Tim Dooley that like called, like we had a conversation the other day? And I'm like, I just went ahead and answered it, and I'm like, hello? I'm like, hello, Chris. This is Tim Dooley. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Everything okay? He's like, well, I'm in my office now, and I have a pen and notebook paper, and I want to hear your side of the story. I was like, what? Really? Okay, let me close my door.
So he finally gave you your side. He gave you a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So this call lasted about 45 minutes, and I started from like the beginning of bowling in my career, like tournaments, PBA, working at the bowling alley, working with him, AMF, working with managers like Brad, Cindy, Renee, and all of them, and Rob and Joey Rob. I tell them all these people who could vouch good wording for me, and I told him my story. I told him exactly what I've been saying on this podcast, what I've been saying versely, and I admit exactly what I did. I admit it, because I know what I did, and I will admit the truth of that. But I would not admit what they accused me of saying. I would not admit that. Anything else I can admit, but that I will not. And I told him that, and he just told me, well, we can't take that stuff seriously. If we have a sexual offense and an employee brings it up, whether it's true or not, we have to take it to the full extent of seriousness. I'm like, as you should, Tim. There's no doubt about it, as you should. But in this case, it's not what we should do doing now, nor to the punishment should be banful. And I told him we can hang out, Tim. We can get to know each other.
And you might have blown it right there saying that.
No, he liked it. And then I told him we could hang out, go golfing, play poker. We can have dinner.
Sounds like a bribe to me.
To be honest, whatever it had to be. Whatever it had to be. And I told him that. He's like, well, I mean, I don't know you, but after all these reports I'm getting all these emails from people who are sending me emails about you and stating that they should lift the ban and this is not right. And he started saying names like Rick and
shit. He didn't get my email then.
Oh, that means you're in the clear, Mark. You're in the clear. You're not going to get
my email.
Mm-hmm. He's like, well, I can see you have a lot of friends in the bowling alley. A lot of people do miss you. You do make a big impact on bowling. And I see by your way you're talking and you're very passionate about bowling. I'm like, yes, I am. I love bowling. I bring people to bowling alley, change their lives. It's a good place to hang out. My wife and kids bowl there. And I'm hoping that my kids just continue to bowl there with me as their guidance. And he's like, well, a lot of stuff was said today, and I will take in consideration, and I'm going to do some investigation, and you'll have my answer within the week. And if this was overturned or it will be finalized, being banned, I'm like, okay. I told him, Tim, as long as you heard my story, the side of the story, and you took it into consideration, whatever you do now, I'm okay with. And if it's banned, it's banned. But I hope it's not, because I want to be back in bowling. I want to forget this even happened. I want to be back with my friends and bowl with my kids and be able to bowl again. And that's what I told him. And he liked it. He said he'll investigate and take a look into it. And then, I don't think I told you, Lee. I think I did. Maybe. But on Friday night, Josh called me. Josh Hawkins, my buddy, called me and said that Tim Dooley made an announcement before Friday League saying anyone who speaks ill or badly towards an AMF worker will be kicked out. Not banned. He didn't say banned. Will be kicked out of the establishment.
Oh.
Hopefully Tim doesn't look at your bowling career stats, sees that you don't have a 300 or a barely break a 7.
Practice.
No honor scores. Well, he's not that good of a bowler, so let's keep him banned.
I have 5 titles, ABT. Uh-huh.
And I will admit, you definitely are good at bringing people in and then driving them out.
5 ABT titles. Each tournament had 4 people in it. But so just to reiterate that announcement he made, did you say that Josh said that he himself made that announcement?
Tim himself made that announcement on Friday. Mm-hmm. He himself said it. Josh said.
You'll have to edit that little snot there out. But okay, so he announced it. That's good. That's good. That definitely sounds like he is fully considering letting you back, to be honest.
I asked Josh, I'm like, did he say ban or just kicked out? He just said kicked out. I'm like, but what does kick out mean? Kick out can mean multiple things.
Yeah.
Like kick out forever, kick out just for the day, kick out for, like, how long is a kick out?
Wow. So, well, and what's so cool is that he named names of people that emailed him. Like you said, he named Rick Connor and Josh.
And
so
George.
Who's that?
George.
George the animal. Yeah.
That's a shame because now all those people are thrown under the bus. They could be banned now just for knowing you.
I'll have to have a call from Tim Dooley and have a sit down.
Right.
Why have you associated yourself with somebody who's an abuser?
Yeah.
And they got your email. They got the original email, the one your mom made.
Oh, no, not me. Oh, no. I'm in trouble now.
We'll be looking for a new secretary soon.
Oh, yeah. Practically the whole board is done. President and secretary are out of JB Trios.
Dang. The whole league just falls apart.
Well, but still, though, kudos to Tim for letting us finally get what we were asking. And that's really all we were asking, is just to get your side heard. I love how he said, here, I'm in my office now. I got a piece of paper and pencil. Let's hear your side. So
I think he should let you back when you turn 50, when you're more mature.
It could be.
Yeah, bring you back and you can bowl the team league.
That'll be the worst punishment ever.
When he turns 50, that's only 5 years from now.
Yeah, you turn 50, you can bowl with the seniors.
Man, I'll be bowling like Mark. I just retired then.
That's great. But yeah, so there's the big news. Tim Dooley has reached out to Chris. Thank you for everybody who participated in contacting Tim Dooley. There were so many bowlers that reached out. Kim Hood reached out. Tom Turner reached out. There's just so many people that reached out and were helpful towards Chris. So we appreciate everybody that did, everybody that listens to the podcast. It definitely was big news throughout the last month.
Yeah. So, Chris, if you do get back into the game, don't let us down. All those people that vouched for you.
It would be like a movie if Chris come back and shot a 300 within like a reasonable amount of time, like maybe within a month or so of the unbanning.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I honestly thought that. I had dreams about that I come back from being banned and actually a 300, and then I retire.
Oh, and then you retire. Like, well, I'm out, bitches. I got what I wanted, so you don't have to worry about me anymore. And the invite is still there, Chris. If you get unbanned from AMF Louisville, I'll be more than happy to let you finish out my part of the.
Well, that or Michael said he'll quit and I can join my wife's team.
Oh, see, either way.
Yeah, you don't want to destroy your team, Lee, when you're only a few points out of first.
Well, we're still ahead of Michael's team, so I don't know. Maybe my team will be a little bit more tempting. But either way, if Chris wants to bowl with his wife, I think that's all good and fun as well. So maybe that'll scare off that boyfriend that keeps showing up, that Camilla, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that Fabio looking guy. What did you say, Mark? He was doing last week he was doing something new, wasn't he?
Well, I know one thing. He was disappointed because Camilla wasn't there that week before.
Yeah, so they had to make up. They had to do like double what they normally do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Chris gets back in the game. It's going to be unfortunate for Camilla.
And she bowled great this past week. She made bowler of the week again, and she had 82 pins above her average. Even though they didn't win, it was just Andre's night. But anywho, so Tim Dooley, he said he's going to give you a week, which is 2 more days left before the weekends. I think a guy like that, it sounds like he's very hands-on. And when he says a week, he's literally going to take up the full week to investigate. So he doesn't want to leave anything out, any stone unturned. My prediction is that you might not be able to go back to Friday nights, but you can go any other night, probably.
That's fine with me.
Yeah. Well, my prediction is hopefully he's banned from Tuesday, Friday. He can bowl. He can bowl on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Those are crappy leagues.
He can bowl on weekends with his kids.
And the youth adult, yeah.
I'd rather just be banned.
Oh, hey, man, that's crazy. But anywho, so, man, we've had, 6 episodes of this so far. I'm hoping at least by next week we'll have the final Banned Saga in place, the finale. So it'll be no more banning. Everything's done and behind us. Chris gets his grand entrance. If he makes the announcement tomorrow before Tuesday's league and Chris comes back, we'll have to make red carpet. We'll have to say, all right, everybody in the bowling alley, stop what you're doing.
Well, you definitely got to warn people first because there might be a lot that doesn't show up.
I might tell Christian to bring out that big truck so Chris can fulfill his wager that he's been missing out on and try to climb into the truck. We'll stop the whole bowling alley and say, everybody stop what you're doing. And then we'll have them all look at the front entrance and then Chris will dance his way in.
No, I want to do a cake surprise.
Oh, cake surprise. You want to put your best Speedo on and then pop out of the cake, huh?
Yeah. I want to do that and just point at Rick Connor.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's revenge for all those dick pics that he sends you. Not himself, of other dick pics.
That's something I'll definitely do in a heartbeat.
Well, I'll make an announcement. I'll say, here he is, coming at the front entrance, Chris Woodmansey.
And then you see everybody going out the back entrance.
Oh, man. Yep. All right. So there you have it. There's the big update. Definitely the biggest update we've had since this whole thing started. Hopefully we'll have an even bigger update for you on the next podcast, which will be airing next Monday. All right. So next order of business. Now everybody will tune out because we got through all the exciting stuff. Now to the boring stuff. It is now time for our spring bracket. We had everybody bowl their first round. We're going to do things a little bit differently from our previous brackets. We are going to let there be 2 rounds before anybody's eliminated. Whereas what we did before was we had round 1 and then we eliminated, I think it was the bottom 9. And then we had round 2 when we had 26 bowlers left and we eliminated the bottom 10 there. This go around, what we're doing is we're going to have 2 weeks of qualifying where everyone's involved.
Didn't we already have a week?
We just had a week.
Just had a week.
So the good news is that nobody's eliminated. Even if you bowled bad, you're still got a chance. I've went ahead and I've made a printout of everybody's scores. Just to name off some names, we've got leading the pack.
Let me ask you, Lee.
Yeah.
After this week, what is your cut? How many bowlers?
It'll be 16.
All right. So you can let us know who the 16th bowler is as well as, the top bowler. I'm curious who the cut is right now.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a top 5 and bottom 5 and then the cut. So the top 5 bowlers are Eric Saunders. Of course, he bowled against your team, Marks. Mm-hmm. So you know how good he did. Second was, Eric had a 734 series with his handicap. Andre Uderico, who also I mentioned earlier had a really good night with his handicap shot 731. In third was Jose Beltre. They bowled heads up, and he lost by 1 pin. He shot 730 with his handicap. He lost to the only two other guys that could have beat him. He lost to the one of those two other guys, and so he bowled a 730. Camilla, believe it or not, had a great night, which is Jose's teammate. She shot 727, but yet their team lost. So they had the two bowlers in the top four, and yet their team lost still.
She said Mike sucked it up.
Mike, he did suck out of all 6 bowlers on the pairs.
Yeah, that's why she said, she's like, Chris, hurry up and get unbanned so you can come off the team. I'm trying, man.
In 5th place,
I'm not sure that'd be much better.
In 5th place was actually a tie. Peyton and Bryson both had 717. So that rounds up your top 5. Now your bottom 5 is going to have a struggle. Tina Saunders with a 600 series. She was 29. In 30th place was Ron Reynolds at 599. Mike Ensline with 596. He was 31st. And in 32nd, Charity Poe, who I guess you can say is bowling for Christian, but she's been bowling for so long for Christian that we're just going to put her in the tournament. She might be the one exception that we make that if she wins, because she's not a paying member of the league. She's just subbing in for Christian. If she happens to make a huge comeback and win, we might have to do something about the prize fund. But
what did she end up with? 5 what?
She's got 594, but she's next to the bottom. The last place person was Nancy Davis with 587. So those are your bottom 5. They're going to have a really good week this next week to remain in the top 16. Now, the top 16, the cutoff, guess who it was? Mr. Mark Merchant.
Oh, I want to recount.
In 16th place. He shot a 664 with his handicap. He barely beat out.
Tied down with credit card payments? Help you finance.
Oops. Perfect.
He's about to be. He's a devil. He's about to be 666.
Who'd I just beat out?
He just beat out Anna Marie Davis at 650.
He beat out a girl.
Yeah. You were the cut. So you had 664 and we're 16th. So had we had stopped this week, you'd have been in the tournament. So you need to beat at least 664 with your handicap next week. Now, even that's not a guarantee because somebody in the bottom half could shoot really big and knock you down a peg. So if I had to say what the safe zone would be, shoot 680 with your handicap and you'll be good.
Okay.
I think. There's no guarantees. But 664 made the cut and Mark was 16th. So, and there you have it. So we're going to have another round. Now, if Chris happens to come back, that would make 34 bowlers that we've got. And he might be subbing in for somebody. He might be subbing in for me. Just to give you an idea, Chris, where I was, unfortunately, you're going to have to do some work because I didn't bowl that good. I was 23. So I was at 624. But I was ahead Mike Wang. Mike, where are you? You're on this list somewhere. I'm having a look for it. Yeah, he was actually on the bottom 6. So he was just ahead of Tina. He was number 28. He only had 610. So if you do replace me on my team, then at least if you do come back tomorrow night, at least you'll have a little bit of a better shot with my score.
Okay, gotcha. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
So there you have it. There's our big bracket. So again, we've changed up the rules. There is no eliminations for the first night. Everybody is still in it. Everybody still has a chance. Those bottom 5 people may have a harder time. I do have a sheet for everybody to see. So you will see where you are at in the standings. So that'll be in with our paperwork tomorrow night. So everybody will get a chance to see where you're at and what you bowled. All right, so that covers the bracket.
Beat my
Here we go with another segment of Beat Mark's Picks. A terrific week this week, guys. All of us above 500. Of course, Chris and Lee, you picked the same 6 teams.
Yes, we did.
And your record for the week was 3 wins, 3 losses.
Oh, no.
So both of yous overall 23 wins, 13 losses.
Oh, no, it's not good.
And myself was the leader of the week, 4 wins, 2 losses.
Oh, that means
that puts me down 22 and 14, 1 behind you guys.
Wow. So we're at 23 and 13?
23-13, and I'm 22-14. And the swing games for me, I did have your team, Lee. Unfortunately, I didn't win that one.
Yeah, that was the one.
But 3 Fingers Deep and Almost Empty Nest were my 2 winners over you guys.
That was a huge one. If you'd have picked my team, you'd be tied. You'd have a 3-way tie if you'd have picked my team.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Well, and look at what did they win? The first 12 off you guys, or 10?
The first game we didn't win a point. They won the first 12. So you're sitting pretty, but Gino fell off. Peyton found it. So that was the big switch. I think Peyton had like a 170 and Gino had a 190. But then after that, Peyton had like a 240 and Gino only had like a 140.
Yeah, they faded.
Yeah.
They faded.
But yeah, so I can't remember a time when we first started doing Beat Mark's Picks where there was only one single game separating all 3 of us.
Yeah, usually I'm blowing you guys out.
Okay. When's the last time you won?
Usually I'm blowing you out. I think the Summer League was the first time I ever did bad.
Yeah,
I think you're going too much analytical.
Yeah, that sounded pretty bad there, but anyway.
But once if Chris is unbanned, you'll see his record start to nosedive.
Oh,
that's a good opportunity.
Why do you say that?
I just know it will.
It's just one of those things you just know. You just know. 11 versus, this is one of those weeks where we bowled everybody twice. So we're resetting the schedule and it automatically resets. So it's one of those like 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, 5 versus 6 and all that. So on 21 and 22, we've got Team 11 versus Team 12, 3 Fingers Deep versus Pin High, which oddly enough, these 2 teams are right next to each other. 3 Fingers Deep in 5th with 158 and Pin High at 151. So this is kind of an important match for either of these 2 teams. What's the spread here?
145 pins.
That Pin High is getting.
You got it. Yep.
Well, coming off a very good week for Andre, I think he may have found something. I'm going to go with 3 Fingers Deep.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3 Fingers Deep, too.
I got Rick the Dick.
Wow, unanimous. All right, Rick the Dick. It's almost going to be Rick the Dick Pick.
And it feels so good.
I don't know what the hell that was, but we'll go with it. But yeah, it's almost going to be Rick the Dick Pick anymore. It used to be Rick the Dick, now it's Rick the Dick Pick because all the picks are selling Chris.
I like that.
All right, next pair, 5 and 6, Sisters versus Housequake. Oddly enough, they're next to each other as well, 8th place against 9th place. What's the spread here?
The spread is 17 pins going to Housequake.
Oh, wow, that's close. Fuck, this could be a tough pick. All right, Eric, and I'm just going to go with what they did last week because Housequake bowled bad and Sisters bowled good. And plus, Patrick was out last week with an illness. So we don't know if he's going to be back 100%. And with Eric and Chris finally united and bowling as brothers.
United.
Hogan says brothers.
So good.
Okay. And so, again, we'll go with it. I'm going to go with Sisters on this one.
Same with me. I think I know Chris Saunders enjoys bowling on his team now.
That might not be lying. All right, Chris.
That's not what he said.
Yep.
Uh-oh, Camilla's making an appearance.
Stop distracting Chris.
It's a hard pick, but just to stay safe on the picks, I got Chris Saunders' team.
Oh, you had to stick with it.
I want to ask Chris now, why the fuck did he change his name to Sisters?
Isn't it obvious?
No.
Well, I think the official response to that was from Tina. That is from a show or something.
Sisters?
I don't know. It's some musical or something, I guess. I'm not really remembering.
Yeah, me either. I gotta ask him about that.
Yeah, well, that is kind of curious. All right, so all unanimous again. Next pair, 9 versus 10. They're close to each other, not exactly next to each other, but Team 9, Ball Founders, best team in the league, and first against Team 10, Camilla's team. If she can hear us, this will be an interesting set of picks here. What's the spread? How many pins are they giving up?
Spread's 92.
Wow, that's a lot of pins for a top team.
Wait, who's getting 92?
The Ball Founders. So you guys are, Camilla, if you can hear us, you guys are giving up 92 pins to them. And
yeah, in this match, I'll take the Ball Fondlers if the foul lights are on. If the foul lights are off, I'll take Here for the Beer.
What? What are you trying to say? Camilla fouls a lot?
Well, I mean, it's pretty.
Your voice is cracking, Mark.
No.
Camilla, do you foul a lot?
No.
Do you?
She's picking up where Chris left off.
Oh.
That's what I'm hearing.
Camilla, I never knew you to be a foul person.
A foul person.
She's learned from the best.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see. We'll see. She kicked ass last week. I'm sorry, Camilla. I have to go with the Ball Farmers. They're the best team in the league. They kick my team's ass. They kick everybody's ass. So, but I would be rooting for you guys. So I do hope you win because they've crushed every team for the last 3 months. So I am rooting for you guys, but I do have to pick with my brain and not my heart. So I've got to pick the Ball Farmers.
He got to use his other head.
That's you, Chris. She's probably distracting you right now.
Yeah, she is.
What did you say she does to distract you while you're at work?
I don't know.
Wasn't it that she stood at the doorway and did something?
Oh, you talking about on poker night?
No, I'm talking about when you're at work or when you work at home or something.
Oh, no, on the podcast. She stays home and she flashes me her boobies.
Oh, her podcast.
Baby.
What the hell is that? I don't know. We'll go with it. She did it again. I can hear her. All right. What's your pick, Chris?
Oh, my God. She's going to hate me. I got the...
Can't even say it.
You said I get 92 pins?
You can't just pick with your heart. You got to be serious.
92 sticks.
You're so close to winning.
That's so high, too. So high. That's like what Mark said, third person.
Yeah, but remember how good Camilla and Jose bowled last week.
Yeah, but Michael sucks.
Just imagine if you get this pick wrong, that means that's 1 whole point you lose to me and Mark. You'll be in third place all of a sudden.
Yes. What lane is it on?
It's on 25 and 26.
Mid pair. Man, baby, how you gonna bowl tomorrow?
Okay.
You gonna bowl pretty good?
She's gonna do it just for you. Wouldn't that be great if you picked her team and she ended up winning for you?
Mm-hmm. You got the
won 3 months in a row, Chris. 12 weeks straight. They've won 3 months in a row.
I got the ball fondlers.
Oh, I couldn't do it. Oh, man. Well, that's another unanimous pick. I'm wondering when it's going to start getting divided. I think right here, this next pick here, Team 1 versus
That was a
Team
hard one.
2. Hawk to a Wap, my team, against We Got Balls. Second place versus fourth place. What's the spread, Mark?
How many pins you think you need?
I'd like to get about 80.
80?
Yeah.
80?
Yes.
Damn. 18 pins.
I was close.
I'll take
I said
18.
13.
I'll take 18. I'll make sure to get every 10 pin. I'm going to go with my team.
I'm going to go with my team.
And then there's Chris.
How's Peyton been doing? How did he do last week?
Peyton did good. He shot 650. Actually shot
He shot what?
663.
63. His first game?
Ron actually bowled like shit last week.
Yeah, he had like a 550 or something.
Yeah.
How have you been bowling, Lee?
Average. I had a 620 2 weeks ago, and then last week I had a 580.
And then David Pry.
David's been bowling good. David's been bowling really good.
Maybe would you give David Pry a hug tomorrow? just to stimulate him.
Damn it. And then she's bowling next to us again, too. Damn it. Because that's what happened last week is he was probably checking her out.
With that being said, I'm going to vote for Hot to a Wap because I think that team is going to be on it.
All right. This could be the one that turns the tide, Marks in first.
Yeah. No, this would time me with you guys.
All right. So next pair, team 3 and 4. This is like a mini position round. Every team is within, they're either next to each other or one team away from each other. This is the last place team mustache ride against the blind team. And again, this is a completely random week. It's not a position round, but it's like a mini position round almost. Now, there's no spread against the blind. I'm going to say mustache ride. They have to win this game, right?
That's what you said last week.
Well, yeah, but it's against the blind, though. They have to beat the blind, right?
Oh, man, I don't know, man. They obviously, Charity didn't bowl too well last week. She wouldn't have beat the blind.
She would have lost.
Yeah.
I got to go with mustache ride. They got to beat the blind. They got to. They just got to.
Mark?
I'm going to take them too, but it's not going to be easy.
It's with great care. All right.
I mean, here's the deal. The reason I say that, Lee, is think about it this way. Last week, and I don't know how they did versus their average last week, but that was a perfect week to kind of gauge because they bowled by themselves. Almost empty nest wasn't there. So think about it that way. They were bowling by themselves. So I don't know how they would have fared last week, 10 pins less their average, but that would have been a good gauge to mark this match.
I mean, who won that? Who won that match then? Who won?
They lost. They lost big. It was almost empty nest, almost taking 40. So almost empty nest pre-bowled the night before, and they
I think they pretty much shot their average. If almost empty nester didn't do anything major. I think when I saw the scores, Anna Marie was way under her average, and then Bob and Nancy were slightly over. So they probably just bowled their average and took what, 40?
Yeah, almost 40, 38.
So that just goes to show you, I don't think Brian, Matt, and Charity would have won against the blind last week.
Well, you got a point. I'm still going to go with mustache ride. They're going to bowl good. They're going to break out of their slump, and it's going to be all for the best.
It sounded like you said that last week.
I probably did. All right, Chris, what do you got?
That's all. I'm kind of leaning towards the blind.
Oh, wow. Well, you can do that on your own risk, bud.
I mean, it just. Hold on. Let me check something. You send me the list. You always send me the list of how they bowl. And, oh my God, Charity bowled under.
Yeah.
Matthew bowled under. And then Brian bowled under. Oh, shit. Oh my God. I got mine.
Oh my God! Wow, that's the first time the blind's ever been picked.
No, I'm going to tell you, it's not it's going to be rough. I mean, I could see this being a kiss your sister at best.
Could be. Kiss your sister means
KYS.
for everybody.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, at the end, believe it or not, at the end of the day, they bowled nobody last week because nobody was on the pair but them, and they didn't bowl well.
Well, we'll see. We shall see. I don't know. I don't like Chris's chances. This may be where we look back and say, Chris, if you'd have just picked Brian's team against the blind, you may be in the lead.
I still have more time. Still a lot more time in the game.
All right. Next pair, Long Live Rock against Almost Empty Nester. Team 7 against Team 8. What's the spread here?
Okay. Now, Chris, this is on 31 and 32, so you don't have to ask. It's 197 pins.
Oh,
Goes to Almost
What? Is that even legal?
Empty Nester.
that's crazy.
Is that even legal?
That's like a 200 bowler on their team.
Is that even legal?
Apparently it is.
That's a stick.
Alright.
And you know 31 and 32, huh?
Well, they were good for me last week, though. They were actually, it was, the shot's been good.
So you ripped the 580 on 31 and 32?
I should have bowled better. And 580 is above my average, granted, but I should have bowled better than that. I had a lot of brain farts. The shot has not been bad since the machine broke down a month or so ago. And I think they're using the shot pattern from Denton, which has got a little bit more oil on it, a lot of back end. So the shot's not bad. I can't blame it. And the 31-32 last week, it was pretty steady, even though it had already been bowled on by the first squad. So I'm going to go with Long Live Rock on this one.
With 200 pins to catch up?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. 200 pins, dude. That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot.
Neil Brady versus Anna Maria.
Yep.
That's the team they get 200 pins. Mark, what do you got?
This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to play it safe and go with Long Live Rock.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not feeling confident about it. I mean, just think if Anna Marie gets just 2 or 3 marks, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. 2 or 3 marks and it's over. Now, that lane isn't going to hurt them at all because they just straight shooters.
I might have Mark brain because I want to be betting like Mark today. I got Almost Empty Nesters.
Wow, I can't believe it.
200 pins is a lot, dude.
I will say, Anna Marie Davis made second bowler of the week with 35 over her average last week. So she might be on a little bit of a roll. And those are our picks. Real quick, Eric Saunders was bowler of the week for the men at 86 over. Camilla, you bowled great last week. You had 82 over your average last week, so keep it up. Right now you're leading the ladies at 175 average and are leading the MVP race.
Maybe
leading the men at 210, and Christian Brake is still in the MVP race leading at 122. Hate to cut it all short, but we're at the hour mark. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and give us an outro?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for this season 10, episode 6 of the podcast of JB Trios. Tune in for next week. Hopefully we have a great news on the final diversion of my band. So stay tuned for that. Come back next week to hear that. And then stay tuned for the Beat Mark picks that I won the majority. All right. So stay tuned for all that. Thank you for all the support. And keep a lookout for our new podcast, the Poker Podcast. We'll definitely be talking about that later on in life.
Yes.
So next week we'll know whether there's going to be you're going to sell your equipment out in the parking lot on Tuesday.
Correct. Yeah, I'm having yard. I'll let y'all know the yard sale details.
And if you don't come back.
And if you don't come back, you will be like
Camilla.